Yo, what's up? DevGod, the best VTuber here, back with another YouTube video. Today, I'm going to review my 8 rhythm games on my computer that I like to play the most, that I've fallen in love with. This is going to be like a little bit of a ranking. We're going to rank it worst to best. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy this PC rhythm game tier list video. Enjoy. Number 8 on our list, the bottom of the list, but still pretty good, is A Dance of Fire and Ice. So I'll start with the good. So I actually do kind of like this game. It has some really interesting things going for it. One, just the whole like simplicity, and then they take it to the extra mile. So you have these two circles, and then you're basically pressing like a single key on your keyboard or multiple keys on your keyboard, and it's a lot more like rhythm pattern based than time based. So you're gonna like go through different worlds, learn how to like go in a straight line first, and you'll do a staircase, then you'll learn like how to navigate like triangles and hexagons. It gets pretty crazy pretty quick, and like slow down bunnies and speed up snails. I got that reversed around. Anyway, so overall, there's some like really good things going for this, like the whole simplicity, but taking it a mile. Really fun worlds in the base game. A really epic Muse Dash collaboration they did recently. And most importantly, they do have custom songs. It is more like, I don't know, it's definitely like more populated by like K-pop songs. So if you're into K-pop, you'll really love it. But there's also other stuff for you to enjoy as well. It's just that K-pop kind of dominates the Steam Workshop right now. This game's actually really popular in Korea, and I can kind of see why. So overall, there's some really good things going for this game. But then you may be wondering, DevGod, if this game is so good, why is it at the bottom of the list? Unfortunately, there's like one big problem that just puts it to the bottom of the list that causes a lot of frustration. And that's the fact that it prides itself in being quote unquote a strict rhythm game. But really what that means is it's insta fail. So you miss one note and you fail the entire world. Doesn't matter if you're at the end of the world, doesn't matter if you're at the end of the level or whatever. You just completely fail, die, done. You have to restart over, even if you get like 99% of the song. My god, this caused like some really big frustration. Now, it's okay for a rhythm game to be strict, but you also have to give your players options, because some people like playing strict rhythm games, and then other people just like playing, rhythm games for the fun of it. So other rhythm games that do this well, take for example Osu. If you want, you could play every song insta-fail. You could also play every song no-fail. You could also just not do mods entirely and just hope that you get like most of the notes correct so you pass the beat map, and then you just like have fun with it, right? That's how a rhythm game should operate. If you want to play strict, it gives you the option. If you want to have fun, it gives you the option. But then this game just has no option to turn off the insta-fail, and you just immediately die a lot. So yeah, really cool concept, really fun game, but a very fundamental flaw in my opinion with the lack of an option to disable insta-failing. So definitely a very frustrating experience once you get to some of the later worlds. At our number 7 spot, we have StepMania. So there's not really much I can say about this game. It's higher than A Dance of Fire and Ice because I wasn't frustrated by it. But at the same time, I never really found anything remarkable about it. It's basically your open source version of your DDR. So some people really love DDR and like those Mania kind of games. That's for me. I feel like they're a little generic. Cause it just feels like playing a piano or just pressing the keyboard. Now I should stress that I don't actually have a dance mat in my house, so I was playing with keyboard. But even then, I just did not really. I wasn't frustrated by it, but didn't feel such a connection to it that I kept playing. So it's more of a meh rhythm game for me. More of just like the whole DDR and Mania kind of games are just meh for me. So it doesn't frustrate me, but doesn't excite me. So it kind of gets the meh spot 7 on the list. Okay, the number 6 spot goes to CloneHero, aka an open source version of Guitar Hero. So, I mean, this game is kind of the same as StepMania, although it is a little bit more exciting for me just because it feels more 3D. It's like notes are actually coming towards you instead of just like slowly falling down like from the top of the screen or something. So the perspective does make it a little bit more interesting and engaging. It does feel like there's more effects that you can do. Like you can do multiple notes at once. You can do like lightning sometimes like comes out and strikes. So there's some things that can keep you excited pretty good. So CloneHero is pretty cool. Has a really dedicated community, a lot of custom songs. Really one of the only drawbacks is just like StepMania and just like you'll need to have a dance mat, or not a dance mat, like StepMania you need to have a dance mat to really get the full DDR experience, but then this is the other way, where you kind of have to have a guitar controller to get the full experience. Like, luckily it does offer the option to play with keyboard, but let's be honest, like, keyboard in CloneHero sucks. You really do want to be using a guitar controller, which unfortunately I don't have, so I was playing this on keyboard, but even with playing it on keyboard, I had a lot of fun with it. Still kind of a little bit low on the list because it still does feel a little bit generic-y because it's still like one of those, oh, the notes are scrolling and you click the note when it reaches the spot kind of game. It just feels meta to me, but luckily it does have a cool perspective to it, like a 3D perspective that makes it a little bit more engaging, and it's pretty fun. There's actually a really good variety of songs. I think like unlike other rhythm games, instead of going for like the complete anime route, it does go for like the 70s and 90s like rock and roll route, especially with some of the the custom song community. Although if you do want the anime songs, they have plenty of anime songs. They actually have plenty of everything. It's definitely one of the most balanced custom song communities I've seen with CloneHero is. So yeah, highly recommend if you're into the Guitar Hero series, but you don't want to spend too much money. You want to have a open source alternative that you can play on your PC. Then I would highly recommend CloneHero is a go. Number 5 goes to Project Dxxx, I believe it's called, or Project Diva Deluxe. So this is, again, kind of similar to CloneHero, kind of similar to StepMania, and that this is an open source alternative to an already popular game franchise. So StepMania was DDR, CloneHero was Guitar Hero. This one is actually about the Hatsune Miku Project Diva series, and this is really good. So be me. No PlayStation. Technically I have a Nintendo Switch, but I've never bought the Hatsune Miku like party mix game. But I mean, if you're a PC player and you want to have the Project Diva experience and you also want to have it open sourced, this is the way to go. This is a really fun game. You do have to have a controller for the best experience, but really any controller will do. And that's like what makes this better than StepMania and CloneHero, is you don't need to have a special like dance mat. You don't need to have like a special guitar controller. Any controller will do. Could be a Bluetooth controller, could be like a generic, like $2 controller. I've actually played it a lot with my Nintendo Switch controller, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. My Nintendo Switch USB Pro controller. Pretty much any controller will do. You also can, if you don't have a controller somehow in your house, you can play with keyboard, but controller is better. But yeah, so way easier to find a controller for it. Really fun game. The whole thing of the game is there's like these button symbols that are like sliding into the screen instead of just like a boring like sliding down the screen like the Mania-esque games can be. It's going all over the screen, top, left, bottom, right, like curving around. It's just like a lot of randomness, so it's really cool. And it also mixes that with the whole this whole clock system, so you wait until the clock hand reaches the 12 on the controller button symbol, and then you press the button. So it's a very fun experience, and actually can get pretty engaging sometime with some of the patterns. Like if you're like spam clicking the triangle button, or if you're alternating between like the shoulder buttons. There's like a lot of fun button combinations plus button rhythms that some of these custom songs can do. And plus there is a custom song community. Now, the custom song community on their official website is kind of weird because like you need to like download the song, but then you also need to like download the video from like Nico Nico Doga is like what most of them are on, basically like a Japanese YouTube alternative. So it's very weird how they handle that, like how you have to actually rip the videos yourself. I really would love it if they had an option where you could keep the screen black and then just like have an MP3 to one, save space on your computer, and then two, like not have to worry about downloading videos off of like Nico Nico. So I mean, custom songs can be pretty tricky if you're going through their website. Luckily, there's a lot of Google Drive folders and stuff out there. If you like, do a quick Google search, you can find some song packs that have already done that for you. But yeah, really, that's one of the only problems with this game is the files, like the song storage, like the song folder itself. Just for the fact that it forces you to use like video backgrounds, it can get pretty it can get pretty big on space, on file storage space, pretty quickly. So other than that, though, this is a pretty solid game, pretty engaging. I've had a lot of fun with this, so I would highly recommend it. Oh yes, in the number 5 spot, we have Beatsaber. So for those who don't know, Beatsaber is one of the most popular rhythm games right now, just for the fact that it's in VR. Like, it changes so much stuff, like, actually seeing it through the headset goggles, it feels like a completely different rhythm game compared to, like, all the other ones on the list, just for the, like, interactive, like, first-person nature of it. So you're basically role playing as like a Star Wars person, swinging lightsabers around like you just don't care, like swinging your arms, like slicing boxes, dodging mines, dodging the walls and stuff. And overall, it's a pretty fun time. So there's a lot of a handful of built-in songs, DLC packs. It also has a good amount of custom songs that are like outside of Steam. So pretty big community that it has fostered. So Beat Saber's pretty good. There's like two main problems. The first main problem for me was just like the lack of customizability in the base game. Now, luckily, there are a lot of mods available for Beat Saber, like custom avatars, custom sabers, like a better song sorting list and stuff. So that's cool that there's mods available. But it really would be fun, like have that into the base game. It would make life a lot easier. And then also, just the workout nature of the game. Like, I play Beat Saber for like 20 minutes, and then my arms feel like they're gonna fall off of my body. Like, very few rhythm games make me feel that way. So, yeah, like, if you can deal with the exercise, and like, you're, like, willing to follow some modding tutorials, Beat Saber is definitely a really fun game, and just, like, a game that feels so different, just for the fact that it's in virtual reality instead of, like, the other traditional games on our list, and it feels like very first person, if that makes sense. So overall, it's pretty fun experience, not gonna lie. Okay, in our number 3 spot, we have here Friday Night Funkin', better known as NFF. Very fun rhythm game. So, when I first saw this rhythm game or I first heard about it, I was very worried that it would take like, like the meh approach to rhythm games where it's like the Mania-esque games I'm not really a big fan of. And they do that. It's like a little bit of like arrows, pressing the note like once it scrolls up and down and stuff. But what makes this game so different is just like the cast of characters and just like the art design behind it. So, unlike most rhythm games, this one's actually telling a story. So you're playing as this like rapper dude, and you're like fighting these supernatural monsters through like the power of rap and DDRing. It's like pretty incredible how they do the sound design because they're not actual songs, but it's like beatboxing, but it's like computerized beatboxing. So it's like or something. I can't really do the sound effect that well, but you know what I mean. Very amazing soundtrack that it has in there with like auto tuning and like chip tunes and stuff. It sounds so good. Um, and yeah, just like the whole storyline of like you're fighting these supernatural monsters and you're like going around to different levels to like win girlfriend's love. It's a very interesting take on a rhythm game. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. If you're into DDR, you'll really love it. But then if you're also into more like rhythm games, are kind of like Parappa the Rapper, like where it's like more story based with like really fun characters, really amazing set design and character design. I think you'll have a lot of fun with this game. Muse Dash is also the same way as Friday Night Funkin' with like an interesting cast of characters, more on like the chibi like kawaii-esque kind of characters instead of the more flash animaty characters that like Friday Night Funkin' has, but it's still pretty cool design, really colorful graphics, really cool enemy design. So basically, for those who don't know, Muse Dash is also feels like a very unique rhythm game because it's like a mix of Taiko meets Mania, but it's like horizontal, meets like a scrolling beat 'em up, meets a rhythm game. So a lot of like games are kind of like merged together into this one. And on top of all of those amazing game like, criteria, categories, themes, you throw in anime girls into the mix. So, really fun game. It can get pretty difficult, but I mean, especially the first couple of levels, like the, lower star difficulties are very doable. It's not really until you get to like 9 or 10 where it starts to get like a lot on the screen. But even then, there's like a lot of things that can help you out. Like there's heart containers. It's kind of like you can like heal yourself in between the songs. You can go into fever mode. There's like so many cool things. You do like the boss fight at the end, and you can like spam click on your keyboard and like literally smash your keys in to defeat the boss with like an epic like combo punching. That's not a lot to say. There's like so many really good things about this game. The only real bad thing though is we don't have custom song support. So you do kind of have to like play the songs that are in the base game, but then they make up for it by including a lot in the base game. They do something really cool. So they have this like base game that's like about $2. Already has like a lot of songs. I think like a 50 or 60 or so. And then they also have the just as planned DLC, where for like then $20 you can get the full game. And then at that point, you have so many different songs from also so many different franchises. So you have some like Citus songs, you have some Tau House songs, you have like a really, really amazing variety of songs that you can play. So yeah, really good rhythm game. Really, the only two problems are that you don't have custom song support, or at least not in the base game. You don't have custom song support, but they make up for it with a ridiculous amount of like built-in songs. And then also like the second like very nitpicky thing is that it can be kind of confusing. Like I wish they had an option where you could just pick a design and not have to worry about the thing because like you can like this like you can't really design your Muse character because that's what they're called as like Muses like the anime girls. But what you can do is you can like select whether you want to do like a, for example, a sleepwalker girl, a bunny girl. One of my personal favorites, the present girl. She looks really cool. So you have like a lot of options for like the muses that you can pick. Then the catch is they put like special abilities. So one will autoplay the song. Another one, for example, might get an extra 100 points in the score if they collect a heart container. So it adds like a little bit too much strategy, too much thinking than I would wish for in a rhythm game. I wish you could just like pick the design, like each design worked the same way, and the only thing that was different was the cosmetics. I wish they had an option for that because it can get kind of confusing. Like I wish they kept the character selector versus because like those are basically song mods. Like if you want to, autoplay the song, no fail the song, insta fail the song, like those should be like song like mods. They shouldn't really be tied to the character like cosmetic, in my opinion. So that's like one of the I don't know. That's probably like a very nitpicky thing, but yeah. Overall, though, this is a really fun rhythm game, and I would highly recommend it. It's one of those rhythm games that go out kind of like Beatsaber, does something completely different, completely new. It's just so much fun. I love it. I would highly, if you're a fan of Taiko or Mania, I would highly recommend it. Oh yes, and of course, you guys probably seen this coming if you know me. Of course, at the number one spot, we have Osu. And it's just like, there's just no competing with Osu. So what is Osu for those who don't know? Osu's an amazing free rhythm game that's pretty much on PC right now. For right now, it's a Windows, but there's a Osu laser port that's going to be like on pretty much everything. Android, Linux, Mac. And it's just going to make like Osu so much more universal. But anyway, what is Osu? Osu is a free-to-play rhythm game. You can get Osu supporter, but theoretically, like, you could get number one player in Osu without ever having to spend $1. So already it's very fun that you have this like freemium game that doesn't go for the pay to win. It just goes for the, play for free and pay if you fall in love with the game basically. And you get like a few different things, like you can download songs inside of the game and use certain leaderboards. But really, you don't even need to pay for it. So that's like one of the best parts. Although you really should pay for it because it's such an amazing game if you want to donate towards it. But yeah, so Osu is pretty amazing. It contains 4 game modes right now. Regular Osu, which is you're like sliding this marble around and you're clicking and aiming for hit notes, is very fun. Based on the Osu, I've never actually tried it, but it's based on the Osu Takadon series on the Nintendo DS. I probably really mispronounced that name. But yeah, that's the first game mode. You also have Osu Taiko, which of course is based on Taiko no Taijin, which is also another extremely fun rhythm game. Osu Mania, you know how I feel about Mania. Kind of meh, but it's there for people who love it. And I've seen some amazing plays with Osu Mania. And then Osu Catch, which is kind of fun, kind of exists though, because you're just like moving your player around on the bottom of the screen. It can be like a fun little rhythm game, but as a dedicated rhythm game, it gets old kind of quick. It's more like you're aiming your player and the game itself is like hitting the notes for you. It feels very odd. You're not really clicking anything. It's more like an aiming rhythm game, which is very unique, but it is kind of repetitive pretty quickly, kind of meh like Mania is. But oh my god, like the Osu, and the biggest thing about Osu is the song is like the community. There are so many amazing custom songs. It's like ridiculous. I think there's like almost like hundreds, if not thousands, if not a million songs that you can get rank for. Oh yeah, and then also what's cool about this rhythm game is a lot more rank based. So you can go for a rank. You can also play multiplayer. Multiplayer is very fun. You can edit your own songs. You can try to, for example, you can have many beat map mods available, so you can do insta fail if you're an insta fail kind of player, or you can just enable no fail and just like have fun for half of the points. They also have really fun ones like hard rock, hidden, double time. They even have like a nightcore option, which is pretty much the same as double time. It just like raises the pitch on the on the song to like literally sound like a nightcore. Like this game literally has a nightcore option. That's like incredible. They also have flashlight, which is impossible, but at least impossible for me to play. But I've seen some pretty amazing flashlight runs, so yeah, flashlight if you want to be a flashlight player. But yeah, I just don't know what to say. Amazing community, a ridiculous amount of custom songs, or amazing game modes for people to play. Just incredibleness, like very optimized, very cool, like beat map art even. Like you have like really fun beat map art, really fun beat map skins. Oh yeah, and then the best part is you have skins. They're very easy to set up. So if you don't like the look of default OSU, which 90% of like I guess OSU players don't for some reason, but if you don't like the look, you can change the skin to however you want the game to look. You can play the songs you want, make it look the way you want. Basically, OSU is literally like the free-to-play rhythm game where you can literally do whatever you want. Play multiplayer, try to get a high rank, play insta-fail, play any songs you want. There is definitely a lot more anime songs than other songs, but the community is also pretty balanced if you look. Like, there's more than just anime songs, although it does kind of have the reputation of being an anime-esque game, just for the fact that it was based on the Osu no, the whatever that it was called on the DS Osu line of video games. So you do have that, but honestly, there's like a little bit for everyone. There's country songs, rock and roll songs. There's pretty much anything you can imagine. There's probably a ranked song for it, especially anime intros. Oh my god, if you're a fan of anime intros, there are some amazing beat map levels for you on Osu. But yeah, free to play, you can do whatever you want. Osu is like an S tier rhythm game in my opinion, and therefore is the number one on the list and number one in our hearts. Yeah, YouTube-kun, please don't copyright claim me. Please don't copyright this video. I took out all the copyrighted music, I promise. Please don't copyright me. Oh man, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Sure to like, subscribe.